Daisy's dance is definitely designed to get the audience up and moving. So far, this is the most interactive and active episode of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and it has some features of education with regards to counting, but it also relies on memory and copying actions and movements. And I think it utilizes this really well because it's not just 20 minutes of teaching the child or the audience to do this dance routine, it's actually incorporated into the narrative quite well. This is episode 11, I believe, and it's directed by Rob LaDuca, and has our usual brilliant voice cast, including Allwine as Mickey Mouse. We have Tress MacNeille as Daisy Duck. And as always, I will point out I'm not the target audience for this. I'm 30 years old, but I'm a very big Disney fan. Cannot resist a bit of Donald Duck in particular. I love kind of evaluating these from an educational perspective to see how educational they are, but also I just find them really fun as a Disney fan. And this one definitely is the most engaging, and basically Daisy Duck has a talent show performance coming up, and she shows this to Mickey, and then Mickey joins in and they practice her routine, and then they need to head off to the talent show. But on the way, they encounter various obstacles, such as elephants in the road. Why wouldn't you? And there we get the mathematical aspect where we have to count the elephants, and then oddly clap along to the number of elephants. I think there were maybe 7 or 8 elephants. We have to clap. I will admit I don't clap along. I'm not a very good audience member. I don't follow the instructions. But the audience is encouraged to clap along, or the viewer, for the number of elephants. So it's interactive, it's teaching math skills, as a kind of call and response action there. And elements of this dance routine are incorporated all along the way to the talent contest, which I thought was a really interesting concept. There's a bit with a maze, and I thought, how are they going to incorporate dance steps into the maze? But actually they did. They did it quite well. So I think it's quite a nice way of saying, let's repeat these actions, let's repeat these moves, but let's do it in different situations and keep the narrative moving forward. And it also looks at the concept of stage fright, but not in too much detail. It also reminds me, when we get to the talent contest, I won't go into any detail, but it actually reminds me of the old Mickey Mouse barnyard cartoons where Mickey would be performing, either singing or playing his fiddle, to the barnyard animals. It's kind of got a similar feel to that, but obviously 80 or 90 years later, which is really fascinating to see. We have Chip and Dale, and there was somebody else interesting in it as well, but for some reason it's completely slipped my mind. Daisy has a lovely outfit. I always like it when the classic characters have a change of costume. Obviously I love their classic outfits, but Daisy is wearing a sparkly shirt and some nice blue shoes. It's just something that I find to be a little bit of a attention to detail that's above and beyond, and I really enjoy it. The scenes in the car, the animation in the car, I thought was very fluid. The animation quality is, as always, up to scratch, and I really like it. With regards to the actual dance routine, it's not so simple, but it's not overly complicated. I think with it being repeated quite a lot throughout, and obviously with shows like this, they're designed for children to watch them again and again. So this episode will repeat on TV several times. It gives the child a chance to obviously learn the routine, retain parts of it, and get used to remembering things and copying the actions along with the music and the characters. We are jumping, we're clapping, we're marching, and we're sliding. The steps themselves are not overly complicated, but the audience member, the viewer, has to remember the pattern, the frequency, and also be able to do it in time with the rhythm. It's a really engaging episode, definitely the most active by far. It's also the most engaging, I think, because there's not really a moment where the viewer can switch off. The viewer is basically invited to join in every step of the way, literally every step, which I think is really good. Some of the episodes are not quite as interactive. This one definitely is. Although Daisy's not my favourite character, I thought this episode was a lot of fun, a lot of really good benefits to it. Very interactive, encouraging movement, repetition. It's brilliant. I can't fault it. Try as I might, I can't. It's a lot of fun. Definitely a very strong episode.